Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my kids meet my in-laws and my husband's ex-wife after he cheated and left her years ago? I'm feeling pretty flustered right now, so I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat this because my youngest kids are making me lose it right now. Long story short, my husband was married to his ex-wife many years ago. He ended up cheating on her and leaving her for his affair partner. His family shunned and hated him. They took my husband's ex-wife's side and started a smear campaign against them. Honestly, good for them for not letting my husband off the hook, but personally, I could never treat my child the way they did to my husband for cheating on someone. I would berate them and help the betrayed partner, but never go to the lengths they did. My husband ended up leaving his affair partner and moved away. Years later, we met and now we have 5 beautiful children together. During these years, my husband's ex has been reaching out to him, expressing a desire to meet up and meet their kids. Yes, she really seems to think that our kids are the kids she never got to have. My husband shut it down and blocked her number, but she would resurface time and time again, which were all ignored. A couple of days ago, my husband's parents, who might I remind you, I have never in my life met nor will I ever want to meet, messaged me through Facebook, asking to meet up with me without my husband's/their son's knowledge. I thanked them for reaching out, but told them no. They then reached out to my 17-year-old daughter and her older brother and younger siblings, which they told us about after our 17-year-old daughter showed us the message and asked her to meet with them. My daughter didn't reply and told us a day later. Now they want to sue us for grandparent rights and told us that once they get their rights, they will be allowing my husband's ex, who, might I remind everyone again, doesn't even know my kids, around our kids because I took her only chance at motherhood away. Basically, my husband's ex and my in-laws are convinced that they have rights to my kids. Now, I know this might sound like a stupid question, hence my title, so my new question is, would I be the a-hole if I got a restraining order against these crazy people? Edit, his ex is infertile. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your kids, your rules. No one is entitled to a relationship with them, excluding you and your husband. Stay strong and protect your family. Thanks. What my husband did to his ex-wife was horrible and frankly disgusting. But come on, this is insane. My oldest child told me that when he got the message, he debated whether to respond or just not acknowledge it at all. He ended up blocking all 3 of their numbers. Good for you, baby. But you could have told us the second you got that message so that we could protect the younger ones. He understands 100%, which is good, but still. Weird that she wants to see her ex-husband and his kids if he treated her badly. If someone cheated on me, I'd leave them and not want to see them again. Not the a-hole. His mistakes in life shouldn't involve you or your children. It is super weird. My in-laws have also been encouraging this. I would have moved on a long time ago. I would not even keep in contact with my cheating ex-in-laws. What the heck? She really thinks that my kids should have been hers. Get a lawyer. Follow the lawyer's instructions. Everything else is just details. Of course. I'm not sure they have a shot in hell for grandparents' rights, seeing as they haven't even met the children. The purpose of grandparents' rights is when a parent rips away a relationship between the child and grandparents for no reason. That's what I said to my husband. They have no leg to stand on. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to share part of my inheritance with my cousin, even though we were raised like siblings? I, 33 male, recently inherited a house from my grandfather. He passed away in January, and I was named the sole beneficiary in his will. Honestly, it wasn't a surprise. I was his primary caretaker for the last few years of his life, handling his appointments, paying his bills, and staying overnight when he got too weak to be alone. We were extremely close, and I really earned his trust. My cousin Jake, 34 male, and I grew up like brothers. Our moms are siblings, and we lived just a few blocks apart. Same school district, same sports teams, even shared birthday parties. So, I get why the inheritance caught him off guard. But here's the kicker. Jake wasn't around. Not just in the last few years, but pretty much ever. He moved to another state, barely called Grandpa, and when he did visit, it always felt rushed, like he was checking a box. After the will was read, Jake called me up and said, "I'm not mad, but but I really think Grandpa meant for us both to have something. I told him I understood it was disappointing, but this was Grandpa's decision, and I wasn't going to question it. Then he said, "Well, don't you think it's fair to split it? You got a whole house." So I asked him flat out, "Would you have taken care of him, cleaned up after him when he had accidents, spent your weekends making sure he was comfortable and eating?" He went quiet for a second, then replied, "That's not the point. We're family. You know how close we were growing up. I just think it's sad that money is making you selfish." I said no, not because I'm greedy, but because this isn't just about money. It's about a lifetime of effort and the relationship we built. Grandpa and I earned our closeness, and I respected his wishes. Plus, I've got a lot of work to do on the house since it's older, and this inheritance is my only real financial boost. Now Jake's been telling our extended family that I'm cutting him out and hoarding Grandpa's legacy. A couple of cousins have chimed in with stuff like, "You know he's struggling financially," or "Would it really kill you to just give him something?" My mom says I should ignore it, while my dad's disappointed that the family's fighting over this. I don't think I'm being unreasonable, but now I'm questioning if I should have just thrown him $10,000 or something to keep the peace. Am I the a-hole? Money makes the ugly come out in people. If you use Facebook, otherwise a mass email or text, but put out a note that says I am honoring what my grandfather wanted. I was there, I helped, and I had a relationship with him. No one else did that. This is all I have to say on the subject. If I receive another call, text, or email, I will go ahead and block you. You don't have to like it, but this is what Grandpa wanted, and I will respect his wishes. And then block those who overstepped. I really hate when people throw out, "But we are family." Well, where was family when Grandpa needed help? Family only comes into play when they want something. Not the a-hole. If you give in to him this time, he'll never quit asking for more. And every time you say no, he'll crap talk you to the whole family. So it would be unwise to reinforce his behavior right now. If he had played his cards right, seems likely you would have given him a place to stay and would have helped him out when needed. But he didn't. Props to you for taking care of your grandfather and valuing him while he was still alive. He rewarded you for being so unselfish, so you can hold your head high. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or says. Came back to add, this is a case of family having their hand out because we're family and you're stingy, etc. Agreed. Yes, we are close, and if we stay close, I'll include you in my will. They either want what you have or feel you shouldn't have received it. Since they are all cousins, does this mean you are supposed to split it with everyone? All they see is free money. They have no memories there. They would sell it to cash out. They will guilt you and drain you of every penny if you agreed to split. It's like when someone wins the lottery. They all come out of the woodwork. Usually the winner is broke after a couple of years because there are no limits to what family asks for. So you need to determine the limits right from the start. No one said life was fair. Keep your head down and stay away from those who only talk to you about sharing or a loan. Your grandfather gave it to you because he knew you would keep it due to the memories and the time you put into cleaning it for him. You were chosen. He gave you his history, belongings, and home. He knew the others would cash out. But you would keep his memory alive, while everyone else would move on. That's why you got the house. Continue honoring his wishes. I hear if you put a broom outside the entry door, upside down with the bristles up, it's supposed to deter negative energy. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling off my future sister-in-law when she didn't want to invite my younger brother to her wedding? I, 23 female, have an older brother, Drew, 26 male, who is getting married at the end of this summer. To say it lightly, me and his fiancée Lacey, 25 female, do not get along. She's very stuck up and has made some snide comments to me and my younger brother Max, 16 male. For context, Max has always been the black sheep of the family. He is very academically and artistically talented, but my father and mother are disappointed in his lack of interest in sports. Cliché, I know. Not to mention they favored my sister, his twin, Caroline, 16 female. Max and Lacey were civil for a while, but I guess I haven't seen them speak in a long time for reasons unknown to me. The problem occurred last night when I was asking Lacey about the wedding and how the planning was going. She started telling me about her seating chart and showing me what she had planned. I was looking at the chart, and Max's name was nowhere to be found. I don't love Lacey, but I'm not going to assume the worst of her, so I asked her where Max's name was, and she got suddenly quiet. "He's not going to be there," she said. "You mean not in the wedding party?" I asked. "No, he's not invited." She said it so calmly, I'd assume she was talking about the weather. I kept asking her why she wouldn't invite him, but invited Caroline. She just said that she feels Caroline is more mature because she is a girl. This wedding isn't going to be child-free. Lacey has stated this multiple times. I have many little cousins who are being invited since family is very important to us. Not inviting Max makes no sense. He is a very nice kid and very mature for his age, much more mature than Caroline. He never causes problems, but like I mentioned earlier, there are some big issues with him not following Drew's and my dad's footsteps in football. I know Lacey is very desperate for my family's approval, so maybe excluding Max is the way to do it for her, but I have a feeling there's something more to it. After what Lacey said about not inviting Max, I stood up and started yelling at her for not including him. She kind of just ignored what I was saying, but when I escalated, Drew came over. As he was walking over, she started to cry and make a bigger scene about it. Drew knelt down to comfort her and gave me dirty looks. Once she was inside, he turned to me and started yelling at me about being rude to her, saying she's under so much stress from planning the wedding and trying to get my family to like her. I understand that my family is close-knit and kind of not welcoming to newcomers, but that doesn't excuse her behavior, and I told my brother so. I asked him why he didn't want to invite Max, and he just told me to stay out of it. Classic move of his. He called me an a-hole for treating Lacey like that, then walked out. We haven't spoken since last night. I understand that yelling at her was a bit much and I could have handled the situation differently, but I am sick of seeing Max being left out and treated badly. I don't want to fight with Drew, but I'm standing my ground for Max's sake. Max also doesn't know about any of this yet, and I'm hesitant to tell him. My parents have stayed out of it so far, but Drew is still set on being mad at me. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but you're yelling at the wrong person. The person you should be having a go at is your older brother. He should be the one making sure Max is included. Frankly, if my family behaved like this, I would be standing in solidarity with Max, declining my wedding invitation and taking him on a nice day out the day of the wedding. This was my first thought. F them. Skip the wedding and go out with Max for a fun-filled day and evening, including turning off both of your phones so you don't have to listen to the barrage. But I would also be very petty and invite family and friends to come with us on this awesome time, not attending the a-hole's wedding. I would share it with all family. Many people have family members who are a-holes, but they are your a-holes and they are still invited to the family functions and, of course, weddings. Drew is going above and beyond and needs to be called out and shamed for his behavior. Not the a-hole. Tell your parents and make them understand how it's unfair that Max is the only one not invited to the wedding in your whole family. Honestly, it doesn't even make sense considering that this isn't a child-free wedding, so the whole argument of Caroline being more mature than Max doesn't even hold up. Confront her with your parents and Max there. She doesn't need to include Max in the wedding party, but just not inviting him is a really low move. Make your brother understand this too. Hope y'all resolve this soon and Max also attends the wedding. That's what I was thinking too. I will try talking to them, but my parents have always been a little close-minded. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law I don't want her gifts anymore? So here's the thing. Every time she gives me something, anything, there's always a hidden jab. Like one time she gave me this expensive face cream. Cool, right? Except she goes, "This should help with those little wrinkles you're getting." I'm 27. I don't even have wrinkles. Another time, she got me a cookbook. Sounds sweet until she says, "Maybe this will help your cooking taste a little more like real food." I swear I felt my soul leave my body. And she said it right in front of her son, my husband, and he just laughed like she made a funny little joke. But it's not funny. It's every single time. Every gift has a message: you're not good enough. You're not doing enough. You'll never be enough. I've tried to let it go. I tried smiling through it. I tried being polite. I even told myself, at least she's giving you something. But last weekend, she handed me this super fancy dress. I was stunned until she said, "Finally, something flattering. You really shouldn't wear those tight tops. You know your shape can't handle it." I just snapped. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "You know what? I don't need gifts that come with insults. Keep them." She gasped like I slapped her. My husband got mad and said I embarrassed his mom. Now she's playing victim, saying I threw her kindness back in her face. But like, is it really kindness if it makes me feel like crap every time? He thinks I overreacted, but I think I finally stood up for myself. But now everything's tense, like walking on eggshells level tense. So now I'm stuck questioning myself. Was I rude? Did I go too far? Am I the a-hole? You have a husband problem. He has allowed this and laughed along with his mean girl mom. Have you considered you married an A-hat and like mother like son? You're right, it's becoming clearer that the issue isn't just with her. His silence and laughter say a lot, and it hurts more than I expected. Gift wrap him and give him back to her. Next time you marry him off, hopefully he will become a man, and not an extension of your horribleness. Laughing out loud. I don't know why, but I imagined OP gift wrapping her husband and then cramming him back up in that witch's snatch while saying, "And take back your gift to the world too." Not the a-hole. My late mother-in-law was like that, but usually did it when my husband was not around. However, even if I told him, he would not say anything. It harmed our marriage. However, her gifts were not always tied to insults. There were too many insults for that. Long story short, she did it in front of him when we were not in a good place, and we both let her have it. I decided to enforce boundaries that began with barely seeing her. She just could not understand why I was no longer around. Bless her heart. These things never come out perfectly, especially if we're holding back. Usually the expectation is for us to tolerate it, not care, move on, and smile through the whole thing. The moment we react, the attention is focused on how we reacted and how we could have handled it differently, not on the offense itself. You're not the a-hole. Talk to your husband. He's the one who needs to understand why what she was doing is wrong. It may take time. No one wants to realize their parent has been rude, especially if this has been normal for them for ages. Embrace the tension and do not apologize. If you apologize, it'll be very comfortable for them to confirm you're in the wrong and you overreacted. You did not.